right.
Oh my God! Deep to right field, way up there and way out of here.
The Philadelphia Eagles are Super Bowl champions. Eagles fans everywhere, this is for you.
The 0-2 pitch, swing and a miss, struck him out. The Philadelphia Phillies are 2008 World Champions of Baseball.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back to a different version of the Phixated podcast. I am your host, Mike Azzolina, and I'm joined by my buddy Regs here. And, well, look, here's what's going to happen before I let Reg say hello. We are doing a very different version of our podcast. We have not been able to get together due to some travel stuff and his exhaustion, my exhaustion. And we are going to do 2 episodes. One will be released on Saturday, one will be released on Sunday. This is the one that you will get tomorrow. I don't know. Maybe he'll release them both at the same time. I don't know. What I am going to tell you is that this one will be solely focused on the crappy baseball team that we have to watch right now. Regs, how you doing?
I mean, I'm very happy to talk to you. I know we've had to juggle the schedule a little bit. I was getting in at 4 a.m. You got in at 4 a.m. from another trip.
I did have to laugh about that. I did laugh about that. I thought that was kind of like ironic that we ended up both having to say, "Hey, it's not going to work," because we both got in at 4 o'clock in the morning.
If you can't tell, we're in our late 30s. Nothing might have been more relevant than those text messages we were sending back and forth.
Yeah, it was rough.
It's great to see you. It's great to talk to you.
You too, buddy. You too.
I feel bad that it has to be about this baseball team. And I'm just, look, because we are splitting this up, I'm going to say this now. For those of you out there who maybe listen with children present, maybe, late, early teenagers, I'm going to curse in this Phillies one. And I know we tend not to do it that much. So we really do try. I try and control myself. This one's going to have the explicit marked on it. So I'm just telling everyone up front, I'm not going to yell because my children are asleep and I don't want my wife to text me like, "Why are you a psychopath?" So I'm going to talk quietly, but there will be cursing. So just prepare yourselves. I apologize to Azzy. He knows that I tried to keep it together and he tries to keep me together. But for this one, I don't care. And I'm going to let it loose because this baseball team deserves it, quite frankly. So just to preface, I'm very happy to be talking to everybody again, especially my buddy Azzy. But this is going to be a spicy one. The Eagles one, I will not curse. I give you my promise now, so you can listen to the next one, and there will be no cursing.
It's interesting. I don't even really know where to start with everything. Like, I'm not quite sure where to even begin.
I have plenty of things.
We haven't talked since the 4-2 homestand, but I think we're past that right now. I think it doesn't matter. There's no celebration. They scored 6 runs in 3 games in Atlanta. Lost 2 out of 3 to a team who is still in the hunt. Could have put them out 8-9 games. That offense is brutal in Atlanta. It's brutal. You got good starts from Wheeler, Nola, and Sanchez. Sanchez had a little bit of bad luck last night. And your 1 through 3 go 2 for 33. And the rest of the offense was putrid. I don't understand why Alec Boehm wasn't in the lineup last. I have so many things that I'm at a loss, man. I'm at a total loss for what is going on with this team, and it just gets worse and worse every day.
Yeah, I mean, I have plenty of places to go. I can just go, and we can
go. Say
from there.
Something. Like, maybe I'll have something to add. I don't know. They're down 7-2 now.
Of course they are. I I don't know. I think I was saying this to you before we started. Nothing makes me angrier than this baseball team. Nothing makes me angrier than when people who have the privilege to play sports for a living show no backbone or sense of urgency or a willingness to do anything that it takes to change what they're doing. And there's several parts to this. Number one, I feel like if I was a professional, if had the privilege to play professional sports, like nothing would stop me from changing something, doing something different. Maybe being honest to people about how I feel. And the just pure lack of any public accountability from this baseball team drives me up a fucking wall. There's the first one at 6:22 of the
Right,
podcast.
there it was.
But
Didn't take long. Didn't take long.
I know. I said I was sorry up front. Like, we're competitive people by nature. We've had to like put the competitive side of our, body to, kind of back in our minds. These guys who we've talked about this plenty of times. You have to be wired a certain way to play professional sports. I'm not saying that they didn't work hard, that they don't deserve it. But if a guy like me who just sits around, like, is looking at a team and can say they're not competing, like, and then all the answers that we get is just, it's weird. I don't know why we're all doing bad at the same time, or our manager just keeps saying, we just got to wait for them to get out of it. Like, how about no? How about that's not good enough? How about someone challenges them to be like, could we get an actual answer to a question? Like, how can the people who care about this team seem more competitive than the people on the team? And you're always much more rational than I am. So it's always like, oh yeah, well, this pitcher is, better than you think. So they're seeing him for the first time. You know who doesn't give a shit when they see people the first time? Every other good baseball team. People saw Tyler Phillips for the first time. I know he had a good little run there, but what happened? They freaking figured him out. This baseball team sees Spencer Schwellenbach, who I've never heard of before 4 months ago, and is like, nope, he's the greatest pitcher in the world because he flips this stupid curveball up there, and we're just going to go up there and swing at everything. They could have had the bats on their shoulders for that game, and they would have won. He would have walked 14 people. It's beyond, like, embarrassing, disappointing. I'm mad at myself that I care so much. I'm mad at them because they appear to not be willing to do anything to fix it. And their leaders have utterly failed them. From Rob Thompson to Kevin Long to Kyle Schwarber to Bryce Harper to whoever else you want to call a leader on that team, they have failed. They have failed. They have a worse record than the Oakland A's since the All-Star break. They have the same, like, a very similar record to the White Sox, who might lose the most games in MLB history this season. And they have two $300 million players on their roster. And no one is willing to step up, give an honest answer to fans of this baseball team, and no one appears ready to change anything about what they're doing. I don't care. I don't care anymore if you tell me that, oh, this team, like this pitcher has been pretty good this year. I don't care. I don't care anymore that like these guys, they're getting thrown all breaking balls. It's been 2 months of this. The same way I didn't care when Nick Sirianni was telling us that they had ways to solve the blitz. No, you didn't. You're just lying. You're just lying. You're
Nick
not
taking strays.
sorry. It's just very comparable at the moment. Just like
Nick catching a stray here.
no, you're not doing the work you need to be doing. You're not. You're not, or else it would be different. You can get away with that excuse for a week or two, maybe even a month. This has been, what, almost 3 months of this? No, you're just wrong and you're just lying to everyone. And you're sitting back and being unwilling to change anything about what you're doing.
So I think for me, it is this lack of changing, lack of true accountability. Like, I don't want to hear anymore that this is a resilient team, because they haven't proven that to me. They haven't proven that to any of us. It's night after night of poor swings, poor approaches. It's night after night of the same guys going up there and hacking. I mean, there was no doubt in my mind in tonight's game when they tied the game after 3 really nice at bats from JT, Marshy, and Hayes. 3 really good at bats. Nobody out, runners on first and third. Schwarber and Turner coming up. There was no bigger guarantee than they were not getting that run in. None. It was as much of a lock as a lock can be in professional sports, because these guys are going so badly right now that they don't believe in themselves to get this big hit. Look, I agree with it's weird that all of them are bad at the same time. I agree with that. I've never seen a baseball team in my whole entire fandom that when one of them's bad, they're all bad. Like, they have vibes that go both directions.
Then Kevin
When the
Long has
vibes
to
are
be
good-
Kevin Long has to be fired. Your entire
okay,
baseball
so-
team can't forget how to hit or not have a plan when they're going up there.
If you're doing that, it's simply as message, and you're not doing it right now. Like, you're not doing it in August. You're just not. And if you are, it's a message, because at the end of the day, there are 2 guys on this team, right? Stott and Marsh took huge steps forward last year, but it's just as big of steps back. So if you're doing it, it's because of the 2 of them. You're not doing it because Harper, Schwarber, Turner, Cassidy, JT stopped hitting, because these are guys who have been in this league for a long time, and they are who they are, and you're not changing that. You can talk at them all day long. Like, you could go left, right, back, forth, have every conversation, look at every piece of film. They're going to be who they're going to be because they've been in this league for a decade. But if you're firing Kevin Long, it's simply as a message. To me, the message that I would send right now is Stott and Marsh's asses would be in AAA. Like, they would be in AAA tomorrow. And the only reason I'm not saying Turner and Schwarber is because he can't. But those 2 guys can go, and they both should. They both should. They've been terrible. And they've gotten passes because they're the daycare, and they do the fun little thing after wins, which we haven't seen many of recently, where we dump water on people. Yay, oh my gosh, and we bark. And all of the 25-year-old women that are fans of this team love us. Well, you're not hitting. You're not being productive. And to me, I'd rather Cody Clemens be in this lineup every day than Brandon Marsh. I am done with someone's got to be accountable. Someone's got to be accountable. You've got to put some fear in these guys in another way. If we're not going to perform, we're not going to be here. What has Brandon Marsh done aside from tonight when he singled in a 7-2 game? What has he done?
Struck out 44% of the time.
Correct. He's been terrible. Terrible.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and Bryson Stott just had first and third, got to 3-1 and swung through 2 changeups. I mean, look, we can call out anybody in this lineup right now. I think with the exception of maybe JT Realmuto, he's actually been pretty good over the last 2-3 weeks. And I'm not going to call out Austin Hayes because that's not fair. But like pretty much, well, and maybe Bomer, but like pretty much everybody else, I don't have a single positive thing to say right now. Not one. I've got to say. This offense is brutal. It's night after night after night of the same crap. 6 runs in 3 games is unacceptable. You know, it's the book is out on this team. I saw something today, Regs, that said they have seen less fastballs than any team in baseball since the All-Star break.
Yeah, Gelb had a bunch of stats like that in his article.
You know, in the was it the first inning tonight? Yeah, it was the first inning tonight. They came out against Turner, and Turner took a 3-2, or he took the count to 3-2 and swung at the same pitch he took on 1-1 or 1-2 and 2-2 to make it full, and he swung at the pitch in the dirt for strike 3.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just sitting here like,
you just saw it.
You know you're getting it. Like, they're not throwing you a fastball, Trey, because you haven't shown you can lay off of it. So they're not going to throw you one. It's mind-boggling to me that this team is so in their own heads that they are incapable of finding any consistency right now within this offense. And unfortunately, you know, we said before the game or before the show tonight that like they're, you know, I think you said it. They're going to get the 3 seed and they'll probably lose. And Reg's like, I'm going to say to everybody else what I said to you. I don't even know that they're going to get the 3 seed. They very well could find themselves in a situation where they lose this division. The Atlanta Braves just walked off the Nationals. So at the end of tonight, they will be 5 games up in the division. And I don't see them winning a game this weekend. So it could be 3 games by the time they get back to Philadelphia. And then it's the Astros and then it's the Braves. So they're in trouble, man. They are in a world of trouble. A world of trouble. It is not good. It's not good.
I don't know. I'll never understand. I'll never understand. Again, I can't we can't compare it to professional sports. I get it, but like you've been on baseball teams that have struggled. Like I've been on baseball teams that have struggled. Like I've been on basketball teams that have struggled. Like all these things. Like I don't know. You know who steps up then? Like real leaders. Real leaders step up and do something different and show and lead by example. And our leaders have withered. They've absolutely withered like little children. Like children. They should be giving honest answers to the media. They should be telling everyone to give honest answers to people. They should be the ones who are out. I don't care if it's not your usual routine. You should be out on the field taking batting practice before anyone thinks you should be. Like, sometimes it's just showing it. I don't give a crap about your routine and this and that. And now if we keep doing the same thing, everything's going to be fine. Like, no, it's not.
I don't think they know what to say, Regs. I don't think they have any idea what to say. I don't think they have any idea what to do. I believe that they are fully lost. I think that they are lost. They're a total mess, and they are searching for any.
Then pick a series and sit one of them each series. I don't care. I don't care anymore.
Well, I mean, that's kind of what I'm talking about with like you've got to send a message. Like this is ridiculous now. We're running out the same 9 every single night and no one is producing. I also want to just say this. This is I know we've spent a lot of time here just on the offense. Tonight needed to be the last time Taiwan Walker ever puts on a Phillies uniform.
Ever.
Ever. IL him the rest of the year, Phantom IL. I don't care how you figure out the 5th day from here on out. And after this year, you just eat that 36 million that's still sitting on his contract. This guy
just release him now. Who cares?
Anywhere. Well, I mean, they're not going to, but it's they're just going to wait until the end of the year. But like he shouldn't be anywhere near a major league roster and yeah, this was pathetic tonight. I mean, the guy is cooked. He's absolutely cooked. He doesn't get ahead of anybody, and when he does, he can't put people away, and it's pathetic.
Why do we keep trying?
Because they don't have anything else to put out there.
Anything.
Because they had they had 2 spots that. I mean, Phillips was so bad that they figured, let's just see what Taiwan gives us, and he was awful. Now you got Ranger coming back. I mean, this Gilbert dude was fine for 2 innings tonight.
He doesn't have it either. He's got nothing to put people away.
He's not. Well, I would honestly consider this Seth Johnson kid who pitched another good game at AAA. The guy you got in the
from the Orioles, right?
And, yeah, I think that would be the guy that I go to. Here's the other thing. You know, tomorrow you got Ranger, but he's going to be on a pitch count. So you're going to have to dig into your bullpen tomorrow. My guess is that they're going to try and get Lazar through a few more innings here. They're going to try and get him at least into the 8th. And then maybe, you know, they'll figure it out from there. But
Ruiz hasn't pitched in like 7 days he pitched last night, right? Just 1 inning though, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, I think Topper had said, we'll see what happens, but Sunday looks like it's going to be a bullpen game. Well, listen, that's Wheeler's regular day. And now that you're going to lose this game tonight, even with a win tomorrow, you need a series win. And the only time you should be pulling bullpen games is when you have a huge division lead and you've already won the series.
The first 2, right? Yeah.
It should not be Sunday when you're already in a situation that you're going to lose this series. Or that you're already behind in the series. This is just pathetic at this point. What it has come to, and what we are unfortunately dealing with. I mean, this team could actually be out of first place when Atlanta comes in next weekend.
I don't know. I just keep going back to, I get it. I'm a part of it. Like giving praise to like Kyle Schwarber and guys like that for like this great leadership and clubhouse stuff. But like, you can't be let off the hook when stuff like this happens. Like leaders lead by example. And this team has no one. They have no one. No one's done anything different.
Yeah, I think that's what I struggle with, because I do believe that like they're all trying to carry each other in the club. I do believe all of that. I take all of that at face value. That in the clubhouse they're having the conversations, they're being accountable, but they're not changing anything on the field.
Nothing.
Like at least in the box. You know, it's the same shit night after night after night. And for me, that's just like that's where the accountability is lacking. It's not what we're hearing. I do truly believe them when they talk about, you know, we're trying this, we're trying
Yeah.
that, we're talking about this.
Great.
But
Talk is cheap, man.
oh no, I don't disagree with you. I don't. I don't. I'm just as frustrated and just as annoyed and
I
bothered by everything that's happening.
the best leaders that I've ever known led by example. Even if they themselves were struggling, they were the first ones to like be willing to do something different, be willing to change something about what they were doing, to be willing to change a routine, like be willing to do something like as silly as, all right, I'm going to tape my other ankle, except, not the one I usually get taped. Like something like
Yeah.
that. Like I could give you multiple examples of my dumb high school basketball team, like some of the leaders that we had, like of stupid crap they would do. Just like that. Like I'm just going to try this today because I'm struggling, or like we're struggling as a group. Like, or they just step up and they freaking say something, even if they themselves were struggling, right? Because again, it's sometimes very hard to have the courage to stand up for something and tell other people that it has to change when you yourself aren't going well.
Right.
But like leaders can step up there and admit that they themselves like are struggling, but they're going to do this, this, and this. Like I'm going to change this. Everyone should be willing to like come up with how they're going to do this themselves. Like this, they're just not doing anything. Like that, yeah, no one's throwing them more breaking balls. No team has like seen more breaking balls than this team. Guess what they did? They put the curveball machine away for 5 weeks. Whose fucking idea was that? We talk about these analytics departments and things like that. Nobody's told them they're seeing more breaking balls than anybody else in the entire major leagues. And let's not do our little fun game with the curveball machine out on the field. Like, what are we talking about?
Yeah, I'm at a total loss for this team, man. Like I know we said like once we get on here we'll go, but what's so pathetic to me is that it's almost too difficult to have the conversation about them because for the first, 2 months of this season, all we did was believe in this team. Like all we did was talk about how good they were and this, that, the other, the best team we've watched in a long time. And they're, this is the most fun we've ever had in a baseball season. And here we are, we're creeping toward the end of August. And I've said a few times, I just want football to come so I have something else to look at. Because this team is not it. This team is not it. They're not. And honestly, I don't know. I don't think they're I just think that this whole time we were fooled. And I think that this is truly who they are. They don't know how to change anything. And
But
I'm typically the positive guy, and I have nothing positive to say or think.
what has happened though? Like Nick Castellanos came over here and like turned into not the hitter he was. Like, has Trey Turner ever done this in his whole career? Been
No,
like
and he
this?
said that.
Like go into these stretches?
No, and he said that. I don't know what has changed. I mean, obviously, he's in his expected decline, but I never expected anything like this. Nothing.
How can all these players come to this team and all of a sudden turn into different players than they have been? I don't understand. You have more time figuring this out than you do struggling with it. Like
It's really been a baffling couple of months. It really has been, and unfortunately, I don't see it getting better. I just don't see it getting better.
We have no indication that it's going to get better.
I think this time next week we are in a bad place. I mean, I'm in a bad place now. I don't even know.
If they blow this
I don't even
division
know.
to the Braves, who have the team that they have, like, get rid of everyone. I don't care.
I will likely not go to the game next Sunday if they lose this division lead. And you can call me a front runner, you can call me whatever you want. I'll laugh at you. I've loved this organization and this team probably longer than most of you even knew they existed. So you can take that and shove it somewhere. I refuse to sit there and buy into this crap that I have to watch every single night. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not. I can't believe that I'm doing it. I'm still watching
I
this
know.
game.
Me too. Me too.
I'm still sitting here watching this game, and
I do it every time. I turn it off for 2 innings, and then I have to check. Like, I have to see what happened.
well, nothing good's happening.
And I just, if it can't be obvious to you and I, and they can't be oblivious to it.
No, they're not. I mean, they're not, Regs. Like they are very, very, very clear on what is happening. There's no confusion. There's no questions. They know they are struggling. They cannot get themselves out of it. And it's exact. We are watching the Eagles 2023 season on replay. We're watching it happen in baseball, which is more painful because it's every freaking night and not every Sunday. So we have to sit here and watch them tank every night because they can't find their way out of it. It's like they got their doors blown off by the Orioles, like, or
The A's.
The A's. I'm sorry. They got their doors blown off by the A's right before the All-Star break and haven't been able to pull their tail out from between their legs. They've shown little signs of it here and there, but like the second a little bit of like question leaks into their mind, this is what happens. They have no ability. I don't want to hear resilience.
No.
I don't
They
want
curl
to
into
hear
a ball.
topper. I don't want that word associated to that team until they show me actual resilience.
Right.
Because I've not seen it since the All-Star break. And it's a joke that they keep throwing it out there. I don't want to hear we believe in each other. We have the right guys in this clubhouse. Stop saying it. Someone slam the door and have a real conversation. You had your little team meeting. It didn't work. So maybe it's time for someone to break shit. Because I'm lucky I still have a television at this point.
That's what I don't understand. How has it not happened yet? How can I, like, when I will close my eyes at night and think about myself on this baseball team. I'm like, I wouldn't have a locker left. They'd have to put me in the corner. And like, how? I don't understand.
You know who else needs a night off? Kyle Schwarber. He just struck out for the third time.
How can professional baseball players just like walk back into a clubhouse and just like, I don't get it. I don't get it. There wouldn't be a Gatorade cooler that could stay undented if I was on a team that was doing this for this long. It doesn't make any sense.
I got nothing for you.
I just really don't. And we haven't I know we haven't talked about the pitching. Like the pitching was pretty bad for a little while, but you know who's like kind of showed up aside from Taijuan Walker? Like the pitching. The most runs we gave up against Atlanta was 3 runs.
Yeah, they were fine this weekend. They were fine against the Nationals, and they were fine against the Marlins, outside of Walker and Phillips, honestly.
Yeah.
So, like, they weren't fine against the Marlins. The offense bailed them out against the Marlins in the second game. And the pitching was fine for the most part against the Nationals, aside from Taijuan. That was the loss they had in the series. And then in Atlanta, Wheeler was great, Nola was great, Sanchez was fine. And now tonight, Taiwan again. But it's just not gonna matter when now tonight, let me, because I'm being, trying to break the curse, and I have the, book again. But
They're 1 for 10.
tonight, yeah, they're 1 for 10. Then the one was a Bryce Harper double.
Their top 4 are 1 for 13, or top 5. Yeah, no, top 4 are 1 for 13.
Yeah, Cassidy has a hit and an RBI tonight.
Yeah, Bohm's 0 for 3.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I don't know. I don't want to belabor this. I think we've said all we. The last thing I'm going to say is this. This team on paper is far too talented to continue to go this direction. The only thing that will allow them to continue to go this direction is their inability to adjust and make people throw them pitches over the plate. If they continue to chase, they're chasing balls, not swinging at strikes, or overthinking and swinging at strikes when it's too late to do so. But if this continues, and they're just gonna run the same drudge out there every day, and no one's gonna hold anybody accountable, it's just gonna be the same thing day after day after day, and then there's a really good chance that, we're watching a wild card series and they're just gonna lose in 2 games. And that's kinda where we're at right now. And call me negative, call me pessimistic, call me a non-believer. I've just watched enough baseball in my life, to know that this team's pretty much shot. They're shot. I have no reason to believe in them because they don't believe in themselves. So that's it for me, man. I got nothing else to say.
Yeah, I will continue to be utterly baffled by professional baseball players who have been around for long enough to continue to play this way. I'll continue to be baffled. It will never make sense. You could give me all the rational arguments that you could ever think of. I will stare at you and say it still doesn't make sense. And I will never not be frustrated by a complete lack of accountability or willingness to change.
And I think that's fair.
It's never, you can give me all the reasons why you think it's not that. You're wrong. You're wrong. It's been long enough. There's too much evidence now of these men not doing enough to fix it. You like say what you want. We're taking hundreds of swings down low. Like you don't see it. Make us see it then. Take your 100 swings on the field. Show us. Like do a damn dizzy bat competition for all I care before the game.
Yeah, Jack Fritz has said a couple of times, someone needs to come in the locker,
Yeah.
someone needs to do something to just loosen these guys up because they're so tight. They're just not. They're not playing. They're not having fun, and it's very clear that they're not having fun.
It's not fun.
So,
and oh my God,
losing sucks.
I swear to God, if they do lose this division and flame out in a wild card series, that's it. We might just never get it again. If this team, for this money and with this team, if this can't do it for us,
let me ask you.
Bring on Aiden Miller. I don't care what happens up until he becomes our everyday shortstop.
let me ask you this, and we'll end on this.
Okay.
If say they do blow the division, which is becoming increasingly likely every single day. Say they blow it, and well, let's give them this. They win the wild card series, but they lose in the
divisional.
NLDS. Top or back? Long pause.
It is a long pause, which is great for a podcast. To relate it again back, I think we're in a Nick Sirianni situation. Like the overall might be too much success to do it after one epic collapse.
Yeah, but this would be.
I mean, I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm not. And if you want to know like what the first thing that popped into my head, literally the first word that popped into my head was yes.
Yeah. I mean, I don't really blame him for what's going on, but someone's got to take the fall, and yeah, so
The problem
I
is
don't
it's
know, man.
not his fault. He's not up there. He's not
No,
out there.
I will
Like,
say my and you know this about me. I always say to you, if I don't notice the manager's gonna lose you maybe 10 games a year. But goodness, have I noticed him a lot more these last few weeks.
yeah.
I've noticed him a lot more, and it might just be because I'm so frustrated. But I've noticed some of his decisions a lot more. And I don't know if they're his decisions or if they're the organization's decisions, but yeah, it's tough. So we'll see what happens. 2 more against the Royals and then home to play the Astros. And I can tell you right now, if this continues, if they get swept, lose 2 out of 3, whatever it is, and then go home and struggle, it's not going to be pretty. It's not going to be pretty. They might want to get back on the road pretty quickly.
Oh, I want
Um,
make it as ugly as possible.
Oh, it will.
This team
fan
doesn't
base,
deserve your. They don't deserve your cheers or anything else.
no, this
Like
fan
you want to
base
see
is,
you want to see the real Philadelphia?
yeah. We've loved you guys, but this is what you're doing right now. You know, we hung with you
Yeah.
after the NLCS last year. We were like, you know what? It was tough. We were disappointed, but we were right there. We were right there, and we've been really patient through all this too. But I'll tell you what, you come back and that Braves team is within 5 games or less, and you're playing bad baseball, and you start losing to that Houston team, and you piss that lead away
Or this
in
top 3 keeps
Philadelphia,
playing how they're playing. Yep.
you're gonna see the JD Drew treatment to you. And I don't condone it, but that's what's gonna happen.
Mm-hmm.
So with that being said, we're going to end this Phillies episode here. We're sorry it was so negative. There's just not a ton of positive to say outside, unless your name is like Zach Wheeler.
The pitching staff. I mean, again, Alvarado's
Yeah.
had his struggles. Estevez, so happy we paid for, spent prospects for that guy over some of the relievers that were out there, but, is what it is. The starters have kind of gotten back on track.
Yep.
And I put for the record, and you like I've texted you this, I put none of this on them. None of it.
Mm-hmm. They had some moments earlier.
Sure.
The recent stuff is all in the offense. It's all in the offense.
Yep.
So, all right. Well, hey, we'll be back. You can, go from this episode to a much more joyful one, actually.
Yeah.
When we talk on the next one, we'll have a very different, very different tone to our conversation. And we hope that you'll come on over for that. Again, listen, there's not much else to say. It's a bad baseball team right now, and they got to figure it out. And if they don't, then it's gonna be a long off season, and it might not end in a playoff berth, unfortunately, if this keeps up. So All right, man. We'll see you on the other side.
Enjoy the outro. Fuck you, Phillies.
Oh my God! Deep to right field, way up there and way out of here.
The Philadelphia Eagles are Super Bowl champions. Eagles fans everywhere, this is for you.
The 0-2 pitch, swing and a miss, struck him out. The Philadelphia Phillies are 2008 World Champions of Baseball.